Yeah, welcome to Constant Collectible, issue 10, where it is our mission to collect news and reviews in a world of geek culture for you to enjoy. I'm Simon, and tonight I am joined by our very own Hannah Heath. Hey, Hannah, how are you?
Hey, I'm good.
Yeah, so Hannah is taking in Goody's spot because he has priorities, and he is sitting in Rogue One right now, and he probably got what, another 30 minutes to go. So
So I'm gonna sit here and make stupid faces, and then we'll make up for the lack of Goody here.
that's right, because he just realized last week, that's right, that down in the
Right.
bottom right hand corner you can still see the things that he's doing.
The team
I
did
love
not know
it.
that. That was great.
No,
Yeah.
that was great. That was absolutely funny. So as we know, he's abandoned us, and you know, I've received a couple of texts. Haven't seen any tweets. He's sent me a couple of spoilers, which I'm okay with those spoilers. I'm planning on seeing it Monday morning when I have an opportunity. What about you?
Oh, I'm seeing it Tuesday morning. I already have
Tuesday morning.
tickets and reserved seating, so I'm ready
Are
to
you
go.
going? Are you going like first showing, or are you going afternoon, or
No, I'm going at 9:15 in the morning with the rest of my family. So
cool?
I'm
Right
excited.
on. Yeah, Monday morning, and that's what I need to double check and make sure, because I typically I figured, okay, it's the weekday. Yes, there'll be some people there, but if I get there early enough, we should be fine with tickets. So I'm going to take my
Yeah.
daughter to watch it. So
Yeah.
because she asked me, I know, right?
That's so
So
exciting.
it is. It is exciting. She's seen them all. She's, we're uh-oh.
Did you get a text?
I just got a text. All it says is, "Oh my goodness, y'all better hurry up and
I
see
see it.
this." Okay, so
Yes.
I cannot wait. So
Yeah.
let us jump into the topics at hand, and let's start with Trailer Nation. Last week, during our show, the Spider-Man trailer dropped for Spider-Man Homecoming, and when the show was over, the three of us, you, me, and Chad, actually watched it all together in our
Yeah.
locations. What did you think?
I'm very excited. I like the fact that Spider-Man seems more like a teenager than he's ever seems to be in any of the other movies. I really like the actor. I'm pumped. What about you?
Watching it, I really liked it. Tom Holland, who is going to play Peter Parker, Spider-Man. I mean, if you've seen Civil War, you just were like, oh my gosh, this is him. I mean, this is the best version yet. Um, but there was a couple of things in the trailer that kind of bothered me a little bit after I watched it probably like 5 more times.
Okay, me too. So I'm interested to see what yours are.
I loved how it started. The
Mhm.
gags, oh my gosh, the Avengers. Wait a minute, you're not the real Avengers. I thought that was hilarious. The parts that were starting to bother me was constant Tony Stark. It was like they felt like throwaway jokes, things that it's like, okay, well, this is what we have available. Just put a trailer together. Let's get it out there. Um, I understand while they're showing a lot of Tony Stark because of the combination Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures coming together on this, which is nice, opposed to it just being Sony. But it kind of just felt too pushy. Give me a little bit of Tony. Don't get me wrong, I love the end with Spider-Man and Tony, Tony flying through the air and Spider-Man, swinging through the air, which actually comes from, I can't remember which Spider-Man comic, but that is actually taken from the comic book.
Oh,
And, it just, that was the main thing. I don't think we really had to see him that much. What about
okay.
you?
Yeah, I was kind of annoyed with it. It did seem, if you didn't know any better, you'd think it was a Spider-Man Iron Man mashup. There did seem to be too much of him. Um, I was really excited about the Vulture at first, but did he seem too Sony to you? Like do you know what I'm saying here? Like just too mechanical and just a little bit over the top, I guess, which tends to be what Sony does quite
Yeah.
often.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I liked it, and it's funny because I just got a text, which this is also something that bothered me. My buddy Shark just sent me a text, and the other thing that kind of was a little creepy, and he pointed this out because this is the other one that I was thinking, is when his buddy is sitting on the couch, he's got the Death Star Lego. He's, Spider-Man's crawling on the roof, and then all of a sudden he presses the spider and his suit starts coming off. It's like, okay, why are you undressing it in front of your buddy? He's like, no, that's a little, I don't know. It ain't the locker room, So yeah, that was another thing that kind of bothered me about the trailer. But everything else, I mean, I love that his eyes would move.
Yeah.
I liked the suit. And I like that they still show him as he is young, he is learning, he wants to do more. I mean, he really showed me that he was Peter Parker Spider-Man in those early years, which was great.
Yes. Also,
Yeah.
I need you to explain something to me.
Yes.
So the girl in the trailer, Liz Allen, is that her name? The one whose sweater choice they were discussing.
which I could not stop laughing at that. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yes. Who is that character? Because I'm not completely familiar with her. Do you know anything about her, or?
Gosh, Liz Allen. I'm trying to think if she is just something. Oh, you know what? If I remember correctly, she made some appearances in the animated Spider-Man, in the animated series back in the 90s. And I can't remember all of that, but I know that that she was in there. And I think she was a character in one of the, I think maybe Spectacular Spider-Man, that she had popped up. Okay. So there is something there. And so, I mean, you bring up a good point, though, like, who is she? I mean, if we look at the cast, you've got Aunt May's making an appearance, of course, Peter Parker, Tony Stark is. I love the fact that Happy Hogan is back. Jon Favreau makes his, return after being Iron Man. He's like the bodyguard / limo driver for Tony Stark. He's in it. Let's see, you got character like Betty Brant, Flash Thompson, of course, the big bully. You've got the Vulture, and they have Shocker. One of the villains is going to make an appearance. And let's see what else. Anything? I don't really see anything else that really stands out. So who knows, in those extra credit scenes or anything that pops up. But I mean, the cast alone is pretty cool. Marissa Tomei, Tom Holland, I think, is great. Robert Downey Jr., Donald Glover.
Oh, right.
Michael Keaton. So what is he? Is he end up a Miles Morales, or is he going to be something completely different?
He's a bit old to be a Miles Morales. I don't know.
Yeah,
right?
But yeah, I mean, and it could be just something that they're throwing in there because he is a huge Spider-Man fan, and has wanted to do. I mean, he wanted to be Spider-Man. He wanted a Miles Morales version of it. So who knows? And of course, we'll get our regular cameo from Stan Lee. So, I was looking at the writer Jonathan Goldstein and seeing what he's known for, and let's see, as a writer, he's got some decent stuff. He is currently, let's see, he did Cloudy of Chance of Meatballs 2.
Okay, I didn't see that one, actually.
It wasn't that bad. He did Horrible Bosses and Horrible Bosses 2. And that's kind of it as far as writing. He did the screenplay for this one, of course. But what I think is kind of cool is he's being pulled into the whole Transformers, Mask, ROM, Visionaries, that whole new expanded universe that they're building that we were talking about last week with the Transformers and the direction they're going. So he is part of that writing team. So, who knows what this is going to be. He's also known. He wrote the excuse me, the new Vacation film, which I have not seen, and I don't think it got very good reviews. So we'll see where it goes. But I don't know. I think I'm excited about this one. I'm looking forward to a better trailer that may show us a little bit more effects and maybe a little bit more characters.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just overall excited. So anytime they come out with new things, I think I'm just gonna, oh, more Spider-Man. So
Absolutely, and I'm hoping now that, because like we talked last week, that now this is in the hands of Marvel, that they do it some really good justice. Because so far I haven't really been disappointed with any of the films that has come out of Marvel Studios.
right, they're great. So I think
Yeah.
this is our shot at a good Spider-Man movie.
Yes, I think so. I think so. And now, okay, so I mean that's Spider-Man, and another trailer that dropped the other week was War for the Planet of the Apes. Um, Now I know you saw this one. We'd had a conversation via text messages, that you enjoyed the first one.
I liked the first one.
Hmm.
But thinking back on it, I don't really remember the first one. So apparently it wasn't very, and I've seen it at least 3 times. So apparently
Okay.
it's one of those movies that I just liked, but it's not very memorable.
Okay.
Um, I do remember the second one because I took my entire family to go see it along with my grandma and my aunts, and it was so dark, and there was no break, and it was just dark, and you just left the theater feeling like, well, that was really depressing.
Yeah.
So I remember that one distinctly and really not enjoying it. But
Okay. So after watching this preview, what did you think? Do you think it's? I mean, because it looks more dark.
yes,
Yeah.
it looks like it's going to be like the second one. So I'm
Yes.
not too thrilled.
Yeah.
We'll
Which
see.
which this one is also written by the gentleman who wrote the second one.
Oh, okay.
So, which is Mark Bomback, I believe. Um, but the cast seems interesting. And what's interesting
Okay.
also is who these people are playing. You have Judy Greer, who is known for the black exploitation films in the 70s. She's done some Quentin Tarantino, and she kind of started on the rise. Woody Harrelson, Andy Serkis again is returning as Caesar. Steve Zahn, but we don't know who he's playing. And
Oh,
then let's see. That's kind. I mean, there's a few other ones, but the characters that have listed. So Cornelia and Cornelius are going to be in this one. Because I can't remember if they were in the second one. So, and if you go back to the original Planet of the Apes film, they're the ones who help um, Bright Eyes. Um,
oh, okay.
they're the two scientists that this whole thing goes on. So the other thing that's very interesting too about this one is they call him Blue Eyes in this one. So I'm wondering if we're going to get a little bit of the original planets, for some reason, the back in time action. I don't know. I don't know where this is going. Because basically it just says a nation of genetically evolved apes led by Caesar become embroiled in a battle with an army of humans. That's it. That's the synopsis that we have right now.
All right.
So it's like, okay, well, we knew that's going. I mean, hello, the title says War for the Planet of the Apes.
Right.
You've got Woody Harrelson's character, the Colonel, basically say, if we don't do this, we're going to live on a planet of apes. Well, guess what? I think you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Um, this one comes out in July of next year. I've enjoyed this series, and I don't know. Part of me thinks I will go see this.
Hmm.
I'm not sure yet. I want more trailer. I want more info. Um,
Yeah, me too.
I did enjoy the first one. The second one wasn't bad, and so we'll see where this third one goes. So, and maybe then eventually we'll get. I don't know. Maybe somehow this ties into the original Planet of the Apes. Who knows? I don't know
Oh,
what they're thinking. Which would be kind of cool because that one is classic. I love that one.
yeah.
And then I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where that one goes. Our next topic, this one is interesting, especially because of what happened today, starting at 7 o'clock, pretty much across everywhere. The rumor mill popping up that Star Wars Episode 8 Lucasfilm may have given away the title.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm not buying it. Are you buying?
No, I'm not. And here's what they say: Star Wars Episode 8: Forces of Destiny.
It sounds like a bad fantasy novel, you know.
Yeah, I agree. So here in the article, it says, according to AVS Forum, the production company has filed a trademark for the European Union Intellectual Property Office for Star Wars Forces of Destiny. A 2,000-word trademark list includes clothing, toys, staplers, really, Christmas tree ornaments, and motion picture films.
So it could be anything, really.
And that's the thing. It could be anything, because if you think about how the toy line goes, there is always a toy line that isn't just Star Wars. It's Star Wars this or Star Wars that. So I'm wondering if it's a new line of products that they're doing and not the name of the film.
Right. Well, and because what are the chances that the two movies back to back are both going to have the word Force in it? Does that seems like something they wouldn't do.
Yeah. Now, they did talk about that there were earlier names that have been thrown out there, but again, Lucasfilm hasn't confirmed anything. One of the names was Tale of the Jedi Temple, and then another one was this one I don't like, the Order of the Dark Side. That sounds like a very bad restaurant. I'll take an order of the dark side. It's like a sauce, for my fries or something. I don't know. It just, all three of them so far, I'm not liking it all. Tale of the Jedi Temple, that to me sounds like comic book, not feature film.
Right. Yeah. So hopefully none of those are the actual title. So I don't really think that any of them are. So
no, I don't think they are. I think, like I said, I think it has something to do with some kind of product lines that they're trying to do. Maybe it's just a working title that they're using, because a lot of times too, companies will do tons of trademarks because they don't want other people to buy them up because of just a certain name. And there's a couple of products out there that they'll buy every single, trademark that they can in order to guard their products. And maybe Star Wars and Disney and Lucasfilm are doing the same thing.
Yeah. So maybe we'll get a Forces of Destiny stapler or something, and then we can just move on with our lives.
Forces of Destiny. I don't know about that.
So bad.
Yeah, I know. And unless you know what the story is, I mean, it may make sense, it may not, but I like your point that, why would we use forces, the Force Awakens, Forces of Destiny? Stop cramming that down our throat. We know about the Force,
Right.
So they'll come up. Hopefully we'll get something clever. So, all right. So 2 days ago, the word dropped that we are going to get a Gotham City Sirens spin-off from Suicide Squad. For those of you who don't know who the Gotham City Sirens are, it was a comic book series created by Paul Dini and art by Gilliam March. It was published back in 2009. I think it was like July, and ran till August of 2011. Only 26 issues. It popped up when they were trying to do this whole Batman Reborn, because he had disappeared, and they were doing these extra stories. Gotham City Sirens basically is the story of Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn, and how they kind of work together to do things. So we know that Margot Robbie is coming back as Harley Quinn. David Ayer is coming back as director. There is some rumors floating around that we may see Megan Fox as Poison Ivy. And I don't know about you, but I start to struggle with the casting that DC does for their films.
I just start to struggle with what DC does with their films, period, you know?
You know, I am too. I have yet to see Suicide Squad.
Oh, okay. See,
You
I
know,
haven't either, so.
and Batman versus Superman, I kind of struggled with. If you take it for what it is, yes, it's a comic book movie. Was it that great? Not really. It had its moments. It could have been better. I just feel like DC is just trying to catch up with Marvel. They're throwing anything that they can at the screen and hoping that it just sticks.
Yeah.
And I think they're giving themselves they're doing themselves a disservice. And I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to fix this. You know, is Ben Affleck going to be able to fix a little bit with his Batman? Because from what he writes and what he directs is stuff. Maybe we actually get something really good out of that. We know that he is taking part in some of the writing that has gone on for Justice League. It's the movie that gets us started. So
Right.
I don't know.
Hoping the Batman movies or the Justice League movies will save DC. I don't know that the Gotham City Sirens is going to be able to do it, though.
No, it feels like they're trying to come up with their Guardians of the Galaxy. Hey, let's take this because these are popular characters, even though, you know, Guardians really wasn't. Guardians, the film, actually turned them into popular characters. And I think they're just, I don't know, they're, like I said, I think they're just grabbing what they can and just throwing it at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yes. Not a good
now,
plan, generally speaking.
No, not a good plan at all. I mean, it just, I don't know. It's like there's so many good properties out there, you know, for DC to use. The other thing I struggle with is too is like DC isn't really DC Comics to me anymore. They think they need to come up with a new label and just call it Batman Comics, because comics they put out, you know, Batman, you know, was pretty much the main staple in the Batman versus Superman. We got Batman coming up. He's putting together the Justice League. He's this, he's that. So many characters out there. You know, look what they're doing on TV, which I think is pretty good. You've got Arrow, The Flash, you have Supergirl, which is sometimes a hit and miss for me, but and then Legends of Tomorrow. We're using characters that we normally don't see. I think, I wish they would just go that route, pull something out of the hat that says, hey, let's do this. You know, there's been rumors of a Justice League Dark film, you know, with Deadman and Constantine and, you know, a couple of other characters. That actually might be very cool, you know. But honestly, you know, now that I think about this, though, in the Batman Superman film, I think the best part of it was Wonder Woman, and I cannot wait for that one to hit the big screen.
That one, yeah. That one could possibly be very good. I'm hoping. My one concern, though, is it Zack Snyder that's the director?
No.
I can't remember. Oh, it's not.
No,
okay, so then it might have a chance. Okay.
No, Wonder Woman is directed by Patty Jenkins.
Oh,
and
right.
Patty Jenkins is known for she's directed some of the episodes of The Killing, which was a fantastic show. She's done Monster, and she's done a little Arrested Development. She did a couple episodes of Entourage, but Wonder Woman is like, that's going to be her big feature film. And it just looks fantastic.
It does. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be our winner. and everything else is gonna have to try and catch up. I think.
We'll see. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. Now, as far as casting for Sirens, you know, everybody has their kind of picks. I don't know how Margot Robbie did. I hear she did pretty decent. Movie started, as from what I understand, movie started pretty good, but then kind of fell apart and just kind of crashed at the end. They're talking about a spinoff for Deadshot, Will Smith. But with this Gotham City Sirens, you know, rumor of, Megan Fox playing Poison Ivy. No, thank you. I had enough of her in Transformers. I didn't quite care for her in Turtles, but I didn't care for Turtles at all. If you could have somebody play these characters, who would you want to see in these roles?
Oh, I'm a terrible person to ask because I honestly couldn't care less about this movie. I can't even think of any actresses that off the top of my head that would be good.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way you are too. It's like, I don't know, you know?
Don't know, don't care, don't have time that I would choose to spend on thinking about this. I don't know. But you, off the top of your head, do you have any either? Or?
I got nothing. I'm in the same boat as you. It's like I'm at this point where it's like, okay, like I said, you're just throwing this at us. So I don't know. Pull something out of your hat, do something spectacular with it. You know, because to me, I would rather have a prequel film with Harley Quinn. I want to see her go from being the psychologist at Arkham to dealing with the Joker and turning into Harley Quinn.
Oh, I like that. That would actually be really cool.
I would love to see an Arkham film, you know? I think that would be spectacular. The things that you can do with that, the setting, you know, the characters that you could have in there, the interaction, and just give me like some kind of psychological thriller, you know, type deal where the Joker just manipulates her so much that she starts to change, you know?
Yeah, that could be very interesting.
I think that would be better than what they're doing. So, but that's just me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, so here's we're going to move on to our next topic, which is on the shelf. And as you and I had talked last week, you are starting to kind of really get intrigued with Valiant Comics, Valiant Entertainment. And just the other day, they had released some news, and there's a link in the show notes to go and read the article, that Valiant Comics is debuting a new character, a brand new character, which is something that they haven't done in quite some time. I'm excited for this. I know you're excited for this.
I'm so excited. Yes, she looks really cool, and just knowing that it's Valiant, I'm sure she's going to be great.
Yeah, so the name of the character is the Red Legend. She's going to debut in Divinity 3, STALINVERSE #1, which is written by Matt Kindt. Matt Kindt, I think, can't do no wrong. His books, I think, are fantastic. I love his writing. I like his style. I like what he's done there, plus his own things. So basically, the first appearance of the Red Legend will be the first of 4. Now, she's the first of 4 major characters that they're going to introduce. So I'm looking forward to see who comes also. She's going to introduce in STALINVERSE #1, and which will hit the shelves on December 21st. So coming up very closely. And let's see, then follow her introduction and first appearance in Divinity 3, Legends of the Origin be revealed in a full, with a brand new tale from Kindt and artist Juan Jose Rip, who is doing the artwork for Britannia. And then there's a few extra things, but I kind of liked what Dinesh had to say, who is the chief creative officer and CEO over at Valiant. He says the Stalinverse isn't an alternate reality. This is the Valiant universe as we know it, and going forward, what happens in Divinity 3 will have an immense impact on the shape of all things Valiant over the coming year. The Red Legend, in particular, will be a central piece of those plans. This is a milestone first appearance in every sense, one that I would compare to the introduction of Wonder Woman or Thor. The insanely brilliant Matt Kent, and I totally agree with him there, has done a masterful job creation of a new hero chiseled from the rich and untapped mythology of traditional folklore.
Oh.
I'm jazzed. I can't wait. I look forward for these books to come across us so we can review and look and talk about, because if for those of you who are watching, if you haven't checked out, we have several previews up on the website. There's a link to this one. The characters that they have, man, I mean, if you don't know what Divinity is, it's basically things have changed in the universe. Russia's like this superpower. This is where most of the characters are coming from. I don't know. It's just fantastic. What Jeff Lemire writes over there, what Matt Kent writes over there for these characters is awesome. I know you're a fan of Faith. You've done several reviews. You have read some Divinity. Besides it being just a new character, what are you kind of looking forward for?
Ooh, well, I'm just intrigued by the title, Stalinverse. I think they came out with that several months back, and I have been waiting for this comic book to come out. I mean, yes, I am really excited about the new character, but I'm also excited to see what new developments are going to be taking place. I like how they meld kind of Cold War history with also what's going on in the Valiant universe. I think that's really clever. So that excites me. I'm pumped for this to come out.
Yeah, I am too. I think it's pretty awesome. Divinity 3 Stalinverse #1, written by Matt Kent, will be on the shelves December 21st of this year. And then a week later, we have Divinity 3 Commander Bloodshot #1, written by Jeff Lemire with Matt Kent.
Whoa, oh,
so
that's going to be good.
Exactly. Those two working together. I just cannot wait. That one will hit the shelves on the 28th. Like I said, both books, $3.99. You have the Commander Bloodshot is at 40 pages, and it's a one-shot. And I have some more information that eventually I'm going to have to post on the site, because Valiant is offering some bonuses if you pre-order some books, which I think is kind of cool. There's a couple of bonus things out there. I love the way these guys are doing things as far as comic-wise, because you can pick up one book and be satisfied. You don't have to be like Marvel and DC, where you have to read every single book to get the whole picture. If you just want to read Bloodshot, then just read Bloodshot. You can read one book of Bloodshot and go, okay, that was good. You don't need to read the other ones. They almost treat them as one-shots all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, they're very clever. I feel like we're gonna have to do an episode at one point where it's just us being super excited about Valiant comic books.
I wouldn't mind doing something like that, talking about their books, maybe breaking down, who's over there, writers, artists. I mean, they've got some really amazing talent over there. But of course, this isn't the old days, so they're not locked in there. A lot of this talent is writing books elsewhere also. And for me, when it comes to books, it's not always about the character, it's about the writers. And I think that goes for just books in general. You could have, let's just take this new character, the Red Legend. She could be amazing because she's written by Matt Kent. Somebody else comes in, writes her, she's not that good.
Right.
So for me, it used to be, I love Spider-Man. I mean, I collected Spider-Man like crazy. I collect Batman like crazy and a couple of others. And it's like, it got to the point where I'm like, I'd keep reading and go, oh, new writer. Oh, maybe it'll get better. Maybe it'll get better. But it's still Spider-Man. I guess I still got to have it. And as I got older, I start to learn it's like, no, it's not about the character. It's about the writer, and follow the writer, because what's nice is you get used to their style, but then you're introduced to other characters that typically you wouldn't have been introduced to.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, because I'm fairly new to the comic book world, and that's the thing that I find fascinating is it's the characters, obviously they have to be good, and oftentimes they've been in existence for a long time. But then you have to have the right writer handling the character in the correct way, and you have to have an artist that is also working with the writer to portray the character in the way that the writer and the company is trying to portray the character, which is really hard to do. So I think Valiant does a brilliant job of that.
Yeah, I agree with that too, because for me, the writing and the art needs to be spot on. If the art is done by someone I don't care for, even though I like the writer, I will struggle and I probably won't read it.
Right, it can kill it.
It
Yeah.
can kill it. Yeah, it can take you out of it. You want to immerse yourself, just like with a good book. You immerse yourself, you disappear, and before you know it, you're halfway through the book. With comics, you want to be left wanting. So if you have an artist, that is drawing a book that you're just like, man, they're so misshapen that you can't get into the story. Guess what? The story's lost regardless of how well it's written.
Right.
Yeah. And there are some artists out there that do that to me, and it's like, I can't go there. And it stinks, because you want to support the company, you want to support the artist. I mean, the artist and the writers, but
Right.
sometimes it just doesn't work.
Yeah. So
So,
speaking of which, who's doing the art for this Stalinverse? Is it the same one, Trevor?
okay, yes, you are
Okay.
getting. Well, actually, too, it's very interesting because the way they have some of this listed. So you've got cover artists that do their interpretation of the book. For the Stalinverse, you've got it's Trevor Harrison,
I have no
which is
idea.
great because he's got good style. And Vander Bloodshot, you have Tim Crane and Juan Jose Rip, and then you've got guys doing the covers. Similar to how, like when you read Faith, you have Marguerite Savant, the artwork inside, and then I can't remember the other artist who's doing some of the work. So it may be like a transition to where, well, I'm telling you the right here, right now portion, and then all of a sudden we're switching to a different time period, and then that person is doing a little bit of the artwork. You never know how they have it set up. That too can be tricky, because if you've got two artists doing it, you could switch all of a sudden to this other thing and go, wait, what just happened?
Right.
And then it
That
totally
can
just
kind of
pulls you out.
throw everything off. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am looking forward to these books. I've been enjoying these characters. I am looking forward to the YouTube series that they have coming out with several of these characters. These short little films that they're putting together. Valiant is growing, and I like that they're growing. They're starting to do more things. They're doing collectibles. They've got t-shirts going. I think for the longest time I have been tweeting out to Funko, who does the pop figures, hey, when are we going to get so and so? When are we going to get so and so? And then finally, which I'd shown you and posted, that Funko is going to do that exclusive Faith pop figure for New York Comic Con.
Right.
And I'm like, oh man, but when can I get Ninjak? When can I get Bloodshot? When can I get Exo Manowar? So I've been constantly tweeting that out every so often, because
Well, I will join you in that, and maybe they will wise up and do a whole line of Valiant. That would be great.
Yep. I want to see more of their stuff, because I like what these guys are doing, and I want more of their things out there for people to enjoy. I was lucky enough at the Denver Comic Con to attend one of their panels when they start talking about some of the books that were coming out, and in talking to their staff and listening how passionate they were about their books, you could tell that they were readers and fanboys of their own material, which I thought was awesome. And
Yeah. Well, and
you
it
know,
shows too, the way they handle it, you can tell that they just really enjoy what it is that they're doing, and that makes a huge difference, I think.
it does make a huge difference. And what is also nice too is I still consider them like a mom and pop shop, because they aren't these big conglomerate things like Marvel is Disney and DC is Warner Brothers. I still consider these guys an independent comic book company, and they're putting out some quality stuff, which is great.
Yes.
So, for those of you who are not reading any of this, I really recommend you picking up some books. If you want any suggestions, feel free to shoot me an email, constantcollectible@gmail.com. I'll kind of give you an overview of maybe some of the books that you might be interested in, maybe where to start. And if not, just Google, have a look and see what they have. If you find a writer that maybe you are intrigued with, go find their stuff. It's not too late to jump on the Faith bandwagon. She's only on book 6. That's easy. I mean, that right there is a trade, which will probably be out soon. They've got some great, fantastic stuff that I think everybody should be checking out.
Yes, I second that. Go buy all of the Valiant comic books, read them, and then let us know what you think.
Absolutely. Let us know what you think about them. So that's kind of our topics for the night. But I mean, of course, we can't go anywhere without talking about either what we're watching or what we're reading. So what are you up to?
So I am watching right now. I took a break from the Gilmore Girls.
It's in my queue.
All right.
It may be an after the holidays, because of course next week we're going to do our special Rogue One. So
Yes. So I took a break from that. I'm watching Pandora Hearts, which is an anime based off of a favorite manga series of mine. It's very weird. I don't know if I like it yet, but I'm gonna keep going.
manga does that.
I mean, it fit with the manga, but the anime is kind of kicking it up a notch, which was like, it was already kind of borderline too weird, so this kind of took it over the top, I think.
Okay, you'll have to let us know if you continue what you think of that.
Yeah, but it's interesting. What about you? What are you watching?
Okay, so I watched the crossover event on the CW. I watched the
right.
Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow. Wasn't too happy with Supergirl. And then, watched the next one, which led into the Flash. It was okay. Led into the Arrow. It was okay. To be honest with you, I was very disappointed. I felt like it could be much better with what they were doing. The premise in taking this story from the comics, I think, was a great idea. But just some of the things that they did with it, I didn't quite care for. So I'm just ready for those shows to kind of get back to their normal, shows, which I think are fantastic. Not so much Supergirl or Legends of Tomorrow. I'm more in the Arrow and the Flash shows.
And are those still going strong? I'm still a season behind on both of them, so
They are still going strong. They have their hit and miss episodes, but any show does. We're introduced to a couple of new characters, some in Arrow, some in the Flash, that it's kind of like, okay, I don't know how I feel yet. But we have some interesting storylines that is going on, and I'm curious to see where they go. But yeah, I'm enjoying those. We're in this now hiatus for the holidays, and we're not really going to see any shows start popping up till like end of January, beginning of February. So that allows me to kind of do some other watching. I was watching Star Wars Rebels. Chad and I just finished Westworld and did our spoiler last week, because that one's over now. my wife and I are still watching the Downton Abbey.
Okay.
I'm rewatching. She's watching for the first time, and because I was in a masterpiece theater kind of mode, I started watching Poldark, which is on PBS Masterpiece
Mm.
Theater. It
And you
is.
haven't watched this before, or is this a rewatch?
I have not watched this
Oh,
before.
okay.
I am like 4 episodes in, um, and it's got a really interesting premise.
Hmm.
Basically, it is the character's name is Ross Poldark, and he returns home after the American Revolution War to rebuild his life, new business. He makes enemies, but basically, when he comes back, he finds that the girl that he loved is marrying his cousin. He finds that his father has died. The business that his father had in this part of England, which is Cornwall, which is the south side of England, is a mining for copper. The mine and the land and everything is falling apart. The uncle and is doing not so bad. But what I think is really great is that you see the difference between those who have it and those who have not. Get to see the snob the snobbish attitudes of some people, and you see this down to earth gentleman who loves the people who live on his land. He's trying to take care of them. He's a proper gentleman, where these guys with all the money, they have the title of gentleman but aren't gentlemen.
Right.
And there's this shift. You start to see that the other side of the family is sinking while he's starting to rise. And I'm just intrigued. I think there's like 3 seasons. I'm on season 1. The cast isn't not many people in here that you know of, but probably the main one that you would know is Aidan Turner, and he's basically
Right.
known for his, he was in The Hobbit, but one of the shows that he's known for was the TV show Being Human, where he played the vampire, lived with a werewolf and a ghost, which was a great show.
Okay.
So a lot of people know him from that. But it's interesting. I'm not 100% sure about it,
Hmm.
but it's growing on me every episode.
Yes. See, I have actually seen, I think up until episode 9, maybe. I don't
Okay.
know. I did really enjoy it. I don't remember why I stopped watching it, but I keep thinking, oh, I should go back and continue watching it. So I think it stays strong, at least up until episode 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Apparently,
this is a reboot because it,
oh,
it originally came out in I want to say like the 70s or 80s. I think gosh, like maybe a year after I was born or something. So it's going back and just doing a retelling. And so far I like it.
all right. Because apparently they are books, and
Oh,
there's
okay.
like 12 of them or something crazy like that. Let me see, how many are there?
That is a good.
Ugh. Um, because one of my coworkers is really into this series, and she was telling me, let's see, how many are there? Yes, there are 12 books actually,
Okay.
starting in 1945 and going
Wow.
all the way till 2002.
Okay. I did not
So
know that.
yeah, wow. So yeah, maybe I'll read some of those at some point.
That would be cool. I like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, it's an interesting series, and then eventually, what is it? I think tomorrow, Man in the High Castle starts, so I'll probably binge that because I'm on break now.
Right. Yes.
So, and Chad and I are discussing our next spoil it. Of course, everyone next week, we will be doing, let's see, myself, Chad, you, Hannah, and then I believe Johnny will be joining us. And we are going to do our spoil it for Rogue One. We're going to talk about it, our likes, our dislikes, just everything. We're going to spoil it. We're going to tell you what you see, what you don't see, all that kind of stuff. So, which I'm looking forward to.
So
Um,
that'll be very fun, especially with Johnny, who has not been on yet. So that will be really good.
yes, I'm looking forward to getting him in here, and but we are still looking for a show to spoil.
Mhm.
We are in the break, so we'll probably take a break from spoiling it after our road because of the holidays. We're talking about possibly doing season 2 of The Expanse on Sci-Fi, and I haven't read the books yet. I hear they're amazing. Chad has read the books, so I think that would be kind of good to get his perspective coming from watching the show and reading the books, and getting my perspective of just watching the show.
Oh,
Um,
that's a good idea.
so that hits TV. I think it's the beginning of February. So I think that's when we'll pick it up. That's the one that we're kind of thinking of doing, unless somebody has a suggestion that maybe we should jump on and check out. So if you have any suggestions for that, let us know. You can email us at constantcollectible@gmail.com, or just post it in the comment section here on YouTube, and we'll go from there. So Hannah,
No.
I love that you were able to jump in, and I hope you can jump in with us more. But what's going on with you? Where can we find you? Sorry. Just Chad sent us a text. Apparently he's in love. It must be that good.
Yes,
Um,
well, he texted us Vader, all capitals, with like
yeah,
10 exclamation points afterwards. So
I know. Yeah,
that's exciting.
he's drooling. So, where can people find you? What do you got going on? What are you up to? Let everybody know.
All right, you can find me at hannahheathwriter.com. Link over to my blog. I have a new post out every Friday. I'm on Constant Collectible in the sidebar under Hannah's Novel Notions. I post bi-weekly. I think I have a post coming this Sunday.
I
I
think
think
you're,
this is
yeah,
my Sunday, right? I don't
I
know.
think so. I don't know.
Yeah, I should probably know that. I don't know. So yeah, stop by my website, my blog. You can find me on Twitter at _ Hannah Heath. Had to think about that for a second. Yeah, so stop by anywhere on any of those sites and say hello.
Right on, right on. And of course, I am Simon. You can find me at C_collectible at Twitter. You can find me on the website. You can find me here on YouTube. Just, send me a note, say hello, let us know what you think. And we would love to hear from you. We've got tons of stuff popping up every day over at the website, tons of news coming out of many camps, from independent comic book companies to the bigger companies. Some gaming news. Speaking of gaming news, I just posted one this morning from a combination of 2000 AD. And for those of you who don't know who 2000 AD, they're the creators behind Judge Dredd. Okay. They're getting together with Warlord Games and going to put together a bunch of miniature games, kind of like your role-playing Dungeons and Dragon type games. So there's an article up on that. I've reached out to them to see that when they get close, maybe they will send us some more information, send us a copy. I can do an unboxing, maybe a review of their stuff. But if you're curious, stop on the website and check it out, because I think these guys do some pretty awesome things. You can visit their website, warlordgames.com. I think you'll see some interesting stuff over there. They do great little miniature figs. So we do all kinds of news and reviews for you to check out. So, come stop by, say hello, and we appreciate you watching and look forward to talking to you next week. That's right. That was a thumbs up.
Thumbs up, yes. And don't forget to comment below and like our video. And that apparently YouTube has changed their algorithm, and that helps. So thumbs up and comments and all that
Right
good
on.
stuff. Yep.
Yeah, we love it. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.